Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody. I have something really cool to tell you about. If you haven't heard yet about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain here. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one single place. Now, the way that you can do this is you got to download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm, and then you can get started. It's really fun. We just switched over recently here at All Too Real 2, and I'm enjoying it so far. So be sure to check it out and let us know what you think. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the special bonus episode of All Too Real 2. Matt and I just got back from seeing Avengers Endgame. And by the way, my name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me as always is my co-host,
Matthew Haas.
Yes, and just to give you a fair warning right now, if you don't want to know anything that happened in Endgame... Yes, I'm talking about Highlander Endgame. Yes, yeah, the movie that came out 15 years ago or something. We're going to spoil it. Completely.
So.
No. Avengers Endgame. We're going to spoil that movie.
All of it.
Yes, so do not listen to this until after you've seen the film.
Every scene is going to be a minute commentary on every minute of the movie, which means it's going to be the exact amount of time that the movie...
I don't have 3 hours to record.
I'm just saying. Well, okay. That's
okay,
fine.
I'm just saying. So anyways.
Including the credit run, so...
And we're going to talk about it every preview we saw, too.
Yes. Which, oddly, I thought the previews were a little bit subdued for that movie. Mm-hmm. I was expecting a lot of superhero...
Yeah.
Maybe they're not many superhero movies right now being...
Coming out,
because this is such a big one.
Yeah.
So
the only other one coming out anytime soon, I think, is Spider-Man Far From Home.
Right.
But anyways, so this is your final warning. Mm-hmm. Turn this off if you have not watched Avengers Endgame yet.
Yep.
I've warned you.
Give him a 5-second warning.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Okay, Iron Man dies.
Yep.
All right.
Let's get this ripped off.
Yeah.
Rip off that Band-Aid real fast. So Yep, that sucks.
Okay, so I had that spoiled for me before I saw the movie, so I'm really pissed about
Right,
that.
I know. You told me that
So,
later.
Yeah.
Well, you told me later after. So
After
you
it
didn't
happened.
spoil it for me because
No.
you got it spoiled for you.
No, I was looking on Facebook, sadly, right before we left to go to the movie, and some ass hat on there named Jeff. I won't give his last name, but he decided to put as his status Iron Man dies.
Yeah.
That's all it said.
Like, well, like at this point in time, I mean, it's not like 2005. Like this has been like going on for like 10 years now to not do that shit on social media. But
Yeah.
whatever.
But I hope you're happy with yourself, Mr. Jeff. Okay, anyways, so the way we're going to do this right now is I've got some questions about the film. We're not going to like break down exactly everything that happened in the film because that would take, hours to do.
It would, yeah.
And I don't really feel like spending that. But, I mean, basically, first thing I want to ask you, Matt, what was your first impression of the film? Like, right after you left, like, what did you feel?
I felt a little bit, just to be honest, I was a little bit exhausted just from having to sit down that long, for a movie because I normally don't. I don't know. I was kind of confused, I guess, because I felt to be honest, I felt kind of let down for most of the movie. Like I was not liking where it was going.
Yeah.
Until like the last 45 minutes and things started to finally pick up, and I was like, okay, I can sort of see where this is going. But like for a really long time, like for a good hour and a half, I was just kind of like, what is really happening here?
Yeah.
Like because to be honest, I don't want to get too far into the plot right now, but like time travel, I feel has been done so many times lately, especially now. I was like, oh, another movie about time travel.
Well, the thing is,
I
love time travel, though, so I'm okay with it myself. But
I do, too,
The thing is,
to a
there was no
extent.
other way to solve this,
Oh, really?
in my opinion. I mean, there honestly, I cannot think of any other way you could have written this to solve it
Oh,
because to bring everybody back.
right. Well, they could have just not brought him back and then just
Yeah, but
kill Thanos and all of his people.
Yeah,
and
but you're
then-
not going to kill Black Panther and Spider-Man
Right.
and your
Well,
cash cow.
Well, I thought that since Doctor Strange, his whole thing that he's able to, kind of manipulate the spiritual realm. I had my own kind of personal theory that maybe he had just tricked Thanos into thinking that he did
Yeah.
all this. So Thanos was basically just living in his own kind of made up
Fantasy,
reality where he
yeah.
thought this was actually real, and
That-
the real world is where he's keeping all
See,
the people safe, type of thing.
I could have seen that happening, but
Mm-hmm.
the story wasn't told from Thanos' point of view in the last movie.
Oh, okay.
It was told basically we were witnessing everything.
Oh,
If it was just told from his point of view, I could see that happening
Yeah.
from a story point. But like there were events in that movie happening that he wasn't part of.
Mm-hmm.
So, when there's something that's your point of view, I can see something like that
Mm-hmm.
happening. It's kind of like, I'm fine with time travel. I mean, I watch The Flash every week, so
yeah.
time travel happens all the time on there, and I watch Legends of Tomorrow, and that's that whole show.
Well, that's my exact point.
Yeah.
Though, is that since I do watch this so much too, it's like, oh, another one about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just my
it
personal-
doesn't seem as cool, but
Yeah.
the thing is, I like in the movie, they did kind of make fun of time travel,
Yeah, a little bit.
which made it a little bit better. Like they were making fun of time travel movies like Back to the Future and
Right.
Hot Tub Time Machine and
Yeah,
things
that's
like
right.
that. Yeah,
And then when he said Die Hard, oh yeah, Die Hard. That's not one of them. is it?
yeah.
So that was just my initial thing. Was I was kind of confused, and then
Yeah.
relieved
But-
by the last 40 minutes.
But like
so,
overall, did you like the movie?
kind of. I liked I liked Infinity War better. I think.
Yeah.
Personally, and the thing is, I think that it's hard to end a story, and that's the hardest part of a story is the ending.
Yeah.
Almost nobody can really do it in like a great way, in my opinion, because like, how do you finish something? I mean, that's the thing. It's like with like. You can always say, "Oh well, I'll just write another book and we'll solve this issue." But like, how do you finish everything? Like, that's such a
Yeah,
hard
I mean,
thing to do.
there's still
like-
going to be more in the future, but it's like
Okay.
finished.
Well, this part of the story.
This part of the story
Yeah.
where you've got basically the end of Tony and Steve in a way,
Right.
Because, it's kind of like you're not going to have the same people. And I apologize, folks, if my voice sounds kind of strained or whatever. I'm getting over a cold, so
like a really bad one.
yeah. Anyways, got a couple of questions here. My basic opinion of the film was I liked it better than Infinity War, but that could change in a day or two.
This is like your initial.
Yeah, because when you just come out of a theater, sometimes you've got that high from being in a movie theater and stuff. But I did like it a lot. I mean, I don't know if it's my favorite Marvel movie because honestly, I think Civil War or Winter Soldier are both great movies. Both of those are awesome. There's a lot of other films in the series that are really great, but I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome, but it's hard to say what the best is. I liked Captain Marvel. I liked them all, but with the exception of I didn't really care for the first Thor, but or the second Thor. The third Thor was good, but so anyways, I'm going to start out with some questions here. First question that I have for you, Matt, is what was your favorite scene in the film?
The part where Doctor Strange comes out through his reality spinning stuff, and then everyone starts coming out of their portals to fight like this huge battle. I mean, like literally, like everyone is there, like just thousands of people, like all over the place.
Yeah,
to fight Thanos and his, I don't know, horde or whatever,
his minions or whatever. Yeah, the children of Thanos or whatever they are.
Yeah, that's what they're called, the children of Thanos. Yeah, and that was kind of my favorite. Was just seeing all that orange, portal stuff being, circles or whatever.
As Peter says, like at one time he says something like, Doctor Strange's sparkly orange things or
right.
yellow things or whatever he calls them. Yeah, I think my favorite scene is probably. I kind of like. I don't know. It's a tough one to pick a favorite scene from this movie. I mean, when I came up with this question, I should have thought of it myself. But came up with the question before I saw the movie, though, so it's kind of hard to do. But the idea is, I think I kind of like the subdued scenes where Tony and his daughter are. Like when she says she loves him 3,000% and stuff like that. And I just like seeing Tony with a daughter. That was cute.
Yeah.
So that I like, but I did love the battle at the end. I mean, that was cool where the part you were talking about where everybody came back and kicked ass.
Speaking about subdued scenes, so that would be my first favorite. But my second favorite would be the very opening scene with Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah, when Clint loses his family.
Yeah, he's teaching his daughter how to shoot an arrow.
Yeah.
And then his wife and stuff, they're asking like what they want in their hot dogs or whatever. And then he turns around or whatever, and his daughter was going to go inside the house for a minute or whatever. I don't know. And then he turns around, and he's calling her name. And then, like, you just see a little bit of that, like,
dust.
Just dust or whatever, like, or particles or whatever. By the tree where she was probably getting the arrow out or whatever. And then he turns around in the picnic table and everyone's gone. And then like everyone else.
Yeah, that was really sad.
Everyone else in the field is gone too. Like other people just gone. Well, I don't know. I think there was other people there, but yeah, it was just like
everybody was gone.
And that was like the beginning. That was like the beginning of the whole movie. Was that scene? Like it just opened up like that. And
yeah, I like that. My next question for you, Matt, who is in your opinion the standout character in the film?
Let's see here. I would think maybe it's such an easy thing, but like Tony.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, because like he's like I think like the leader. I mean, like I guess it's like a debate between Captain America and Tony, but I think Tony's kind of like the leader, really mainly of it, and
yeah, I mean, well, he was the first one to join the Avengers, even though Captain America is the first Avenger.
Technically.
But yeah.
I mean, because since he's like the main, and I'm trying to think, again, it was a 3-hour long movie.
So, yeah.
But like.
They did service everybody pretty well.
That's the thing, yeah. So it's like hard to say like which. I mean, I guess Bruce Banner was pretty cool.
Yeah.
With his like sort of hybrid between being
Professor Hulk.
Like, yeah, he's pretty much both now, like all the time.
Because in the comic books, he does become like that, and he's called Professor Hulk.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think my
I mean, I'm going to just take Tony off the table because I think he's basically the linchpin of the whole movie. But I think the standout of the whole movie was actually Nebula.
Okay.
I say this just because we didn't get to see a lot of her in the previous Guardians of the Galaxy films or in Infinity War as much as we did. But I think that she was just really a cool character in this movie. They gave her different dimensions and they had her playing two different versions of herself and everything. It was pretty cool to see that. So I mean, I guess as far as like standout characters, and I want to see more of her in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. And I hope we do. Looks like the Guardians might have gained another member at the end of the movie though too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they got Thor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was
Yeah, he joined their ship at the end, and makes me wonder if Guardians 3, if Thor's going to be in it, because that would be sweet.
That would be sweet because wasn't he kind of one Infinity War? It was sort of accidental that he was on their ship because of the whole thing.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty sweet, I think. We'll have to see where that goes, and I'm just glad that James Gunn is going to be back for the third one. And that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, they mentioned his name too on this movie being
on the credit. He's one of the executive producers.
Yeah, so
I think he was, regardless, even
before
if yeah, because I mean he was, and Jon Favreau was as well, and Stan Lee. And that was cool too. Stan Lee's cameo in this movie was pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, he's a cab driver or something who just drives by and says, peace and love, man, or something like that.
Make love, not war.
Yeah, something like that was pretty sweet.
Because 1970, I think.
Yeah.
When they that's where Tony met his dad before he was born. Stuff like that. That was pretty cool.
So let's take a little break right now.
Sure.
And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the movie. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Manager Matthew Haas.
You got promoted?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, anyways, folks, do you like the show Superstore? I don't know. I asked the folks and nobody's answering me.
Because they're not here.
Oh,
but we love
damn it. Yeah, we love it, though. Okay, folks, if you like it as much as we do, you're really going to like the Super Story podcast, which is a podcast where Matthew and I go episode by episode and give our little opinions and thoughts on it. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And, so if you like this podcast and like our little crazy banter,
then you should definitely check this out. Or I might get sad. And when I get sad, it gets pretty sad.
yeah,
So
I can't deal with him when he's sad.
no one can really. So
Yeah. So check out Super Story Podcast right here where you get this podcast, Super Story Podcast.
And we are back.
back to the bone, back from the I don't know.
So I hope you enjoyed those ads or whatever they are.
I did.
Anyways, so right now, I got another question for you here.
Sure.
What was the most disappointing part of the film?
I guess part of it is how little Captain Marvel was in it. I thought she might have been a little bit more into it.
That was kind of disappointing.
The movie kind of played with you a little bit because the beginning 20 minutes or so, it looks like it's taking you into a completely different direction.
Yeah.
And Captain Marvel's pretty much in it from the beginning of that. And then like after 25 minutes, it does a huge time jump of 5 years, and it's a completely different movie at that point.
Yeah.
So it kind of tricks you a little bit. And I was kind of, I guess that's kind of cool to kind of not to give you something that's unexpected. But I was like, because Captain Marvel just came out like a few weeks ago. So I'm like, all right, Captain Marvel's gonna be back. And I was like, oh, she's not in that much.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting, too. She shot all the stuff for this movie before she shot Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's interesting. She was underutilized, but I can see why, because she wasn't necessarily a big part of this first, 3 or 4 phases of the Marvel universe, where I could see she's going to be the leader of the next phase of them. I think, in my opinion, somebody's going to have to step up to be the leader of the Avengers, and I think it might be her. T'Challa or somebody like that. You know, it's going to have to be, you know.
Yeah.
I don't see it being Spider-Man or anybody. So,
He's,
yeah.
he's too young.
Yeah.
Just a kid.
And my most disappointing part probably would be that Nat died.
Yeah.
I
know.
I don't see how that happens. She's got to come back somehow or something, because there's going to be a Black Widow movie, and that kind of pissed me off. Also, I was kind of pissed that they didn't find a way to bring Vision back somehow. I know that they couldn't because he had to have sacrifices from the previous movie, but I thought he would maybe be in the movie somewhere somehow or something. You know?
I thought it was not about sacrifices, but the fact that anyone who died that wasn't about the snap.
Well, that's what I mean. But you have to have sacrifices, and I mean, in the fact of war has death.
Well, too, because technically he didn't really. He took his stone out.
Yeah,
but he didn't actually like stab him or kill, unless that's what did kill him. I don't know.
That's what killed him. He died in the other movie.
Okay.
Yeah, he died. Thanos killed him.
Okay.
Yeah. So it makes sense, but I mean, it's just sad and have no. I was hoping for Black Widow to maybe take the reins as the leader of the Avengers or something. But I mean, she's got her own movie coming out, which makes me just really curious as to.
I mean, it could have been sometime during the 5-year time jump, too, because she was trying to track someone down. Who was she trying to track down when she was eating her sandwich, peanut butter or jelly sandwich?
They were trying to find they were trying to find Clint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Hawkeye. Yeah, that's who she was trying to find, I think. Anyways, so now for a more fun question here, for next question that I'm going to ask you.
All right.
Because I mean, this is kind of a review, folks. Not really. This is just kind of our question and sort of like our way of decompressing the film.
Yeah, because we just came out like an hour and a half ago. So,
I mean, I'll give you my final thoughts at the end or something on it. But my next question was, if you could hang out with one of the Avengers for a day, who would it be, and why?
For a day? Shoot. All right. Well, let me try to list them all in my head because there's so many. So there's Bruce, there's Tony, there's Natasha, there's Clint. I'm already
like anybody in the movie is an Avenger technically. So
probably Tony, just because I really vibe with his sort of sarcastic humor.
Yeah,
I really do. Like I totally think I could just hang out with that all day and just
Yeah. I think as far as like fun people to hang out with, probably Scott would be a cool one to hang out with. You know, Ant-Man, he'd just be. Yeah. I don't know. Scott just seems like a cool guy, and I like Paul Rudd anyway. So
yeah, Paul Rudd's awesome.
Dude never ages. He pisses me off.
He does a little bit. I noticed though.
A little bit, but
it's so I think with someone like him, again, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but he might age really fast because he hasn't aged at all. So it's all
maybe it'll all hit him one day.
Sorry, Paul, if you ever happen to listen to this.
I don't know. I think he's just got that whole thing like Dick Clark had, where Dick Clark just didn't seem to age for years.
That's true.
Yeah. Or Ryan Seacrest, or one of those people that just doesn't seem to age ever.
But he would be fun. I think because like he's kind of similar to Tony, and being somewhat goofy. But Tony's got more of that edge, and I think Scott is more just kind of more on a nerdy side.
Yeah, he's just a doofus. Yeah. And he just seems like he'd be fun to hang out with. I don't know. I mean, mind you, if I want to go out on a date with somebody, I'm thinking like Natasha. But that's just me. But or maybe Gamora. But I don't know. Anyways,
since I'm married, to Captain Marvel, so
Oh yeah, you are married to her. I forgot.
We go on married dates, Yeah.
How's that going, by the way?
It's pretty good.
That episode hasn't aired yet that we talked about that, but that's okay.
Well, never mind. I kind of ruined that.
It's okay though. People know what we're talking about when that one airs, probably like months from now. Anyways, a little bit, to see how the I don't know, the bread is baked here. We kind of you can see that we recorded most of these episodes months ago. Yeah. This one is going to be automatically right away. This is our first one that we've done that's like right away.
Yeah.
So, my thing is, okay, now the next thing is, okay, where... This is, okay. I was going to ask you where you would rank this among comic book films. Like, would you rank it high or low? You don't have to say, like, a number of where you'd rank it, but...
I would say I would kind of rank it somewhat high. Right now, if I'm being like totally honest, I would say it's about 6.8 out of 10. But again, we just saw it an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
So I might, in a few days from now, when I might actually be thinking about some stuff some more and kind of put some of the pieces together, I might get some things more.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm kind of missing some things, here and there. But I'd say it's reasonably high.
Yeah, I mean, I put it among the high-ranking ones. I mean, it's never going to be, I don't know, one of my favorite comic book movies. What is your favorite comic book movie that you've seen?
I don't know if it's a comic book movie or not, but it's about like superhero-ish people. It's called oh shit, I forgot the name of it. It was really long too. It was like, and like these were like they were like more like gritty superheroes. Like they weren't really like superheroes because they kind of had like really, really serious flaws. Like I mean, like these ones have flaws, but they kind of had like more like drug addictions and like some of them like became like doing stuff for like murder for hire later. I forgot what it was. It was like damn. I wish
Was it Watchmen?
Yeah, The Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the comic book.
Oh yeah, it is. It's based on a comic, DC comic called The Watchmen.
Well, I like that one a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I like that one. That was a great movie. I mean, my favorites are either I love 89 Batman. I love Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight's good.
And if we go with comic book movies, my all-time favorite comic book movie is actually The Crow.
Oh yeah.
So
That's a good one.
So my next question is not one that I had on my list, but it just came to me.
All right.
Where do you want to, I should say, see the Marvel Cinematic Universe go after this?
Okay, so like, and again, don't pretend to like know everything.
Oh no,
about
that's fine.
Comics and stuff. So I'm gonna sound kind
it's just your opinion,
like a newbie here, but like, I'm hoping to see maybe it go in a more supernatural direction, as opposed to the sci-fi stuff. Because a lot of it, most of it seems to have to do with like technology and stuff. When Thor mentioned stuff about space magic, and stuff like that. Then his mom said she was raised by witches.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping for more of like that kind of like pagan-esque, like people conjuring up spirits or magic as opposed to like, I built this awesome machine and we're going to use this to save the world type of thing, which is cool, but we've been seeing that for 10 years. I want to see a little bit more.
I think
earthy.
with, the introduction of Doctor Strange a few years ago and stuff like that, they are going in that direction.
Yeah.
A little more than, and Thor kind of has had that from the beginning. I could see that. I mean, I just see like even not on necessarily caring which direction they go as far as like genre. I want to see more women leading characters. I think that they waited way too freaking long to give Captain Marvel a movie. I mean, I'm glad that they waited for Brie Larson, because if they would have done it earlier, it would have been cast with a different actress. But they waited way too long to do that.
Quit virtual signaling. SJW surrounding the comic book universe. Sorry.
That's okay. Anyways,
Sorry. That's my impression for anyone I don't like. Is complainy people about stupid stuff.
Well, on that note, let's take a little break here. No, it's okay. We're just gonna take a couple second break here, and we'll be right back after this.
Hey, folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All Too Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So
It was a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it? You know?
Real.
Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye.
Okay, and we are back. So, yeah. No, I mean, basically, what I'm saying is, I think that I would like to see more women-led movies in the future of this. And yes, I do know that some of you more quote-unquote conservative or, living in your mama's basement sort of people might be pissed at me, and I don't give a fuck. Anyways, I want to see more people of color. I want to see more people that are trans. I want to see people that are gay. I want to see other characters in this universe that was primarily, for the first 10 years, led by white men. And I don't care who cares what I say. I'm just saying
pandering, man.
Yeah.
You're just pandering. You're trying to score your social points, social capital points. I don't know.
No, because I've always thought that, because I really think that about everything.
You're just trying to be super cool and tolerant, and since I'm not, then that's a bad thing.
My main thing is that the Avengers are Earth's mightiest heroes, not white America's mightiest heroes.
No, that's just a natural thing. That's just the free market, man.
So
Sorry.
I'm just going off on
I'm
my
just-
little soapbox here. No, I know you're being the devil's advocate here on this thing.
But not really.
No.
Because I'm making fun of the.
Oh, I know you. I know you are, but I know what you do. No, I'm just saying. But my main thing is like I'm not trying to get all social justice warrior here on you or anything. I'm just basically saying that variety is the spice of life, and the thing is, it's like honestly, I think this might sound weird, but the worst part of the Captain Marvel movie was not the fact that she was female that a lot of people brought up. The worst part about the Captain Marvel movie was that it was too formulaic.
Oh yeah.
I think it should have been even more girl power. It should have been more of a story that I couldn't have predicted.
No, because she changed her outfit with some Barbie color thing or whatever that guy says.
Yeah.
I should say that.
No, it's okay. But my main thing is like I just want to see more diversity and more things, and I think they're going that way, and they're finally catching up. But the problem is I think it might be too late in some ways. They should have done this sooner. And honestly, DC beat them to the punch with Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I don't know. I see, and then even with TV, you've got Supergirl on TV, which is an amazing show. Well acted, well written, maybe a little too social justice warrior for some people, but that's okay because we need that. We need diversity because the thing is, if everything is Batman and Captain America, we're kind of just bored. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, but the thing about that stuff is that I've watched almost the first 2 seasons carefully,
Mm-hmm.
and if you notice, the so-called social justice warrior stuff, these are like little throwaway lines that are like that last like 5 seconds in like a 43-minute long episode, but
Yeah,
still
people
those
get
those
pissed.
5 seconds will throw people's world into disarray.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like I'm like,
And
this episode's 43 minutes long, and 5 seconds of
you
it. has,
haven't
like,
gotten to the current season.
No, I'm on 2nd season.
No. What I'm saying is,
Oh, okay.
you haven't gotten to that yet. Wait till you get to that. It's more than a few throwaway lines.
Okay.
It's completely. I mean, they have a trans character on the show.
Okay.
So
Oh no, that's gonna be another big thing.
yeah,
I can't-
that's what I'm saying. I like to see that. I mean, the
Right.
thing is, there are people get so offended when representation, and I'm getting on a soapbox that has nothing to do with Avengers necessarily, but the fact is, people get so pissed off when someone other than a white dude is represented. I can't speak. Represented in a film or a TV show. And I don't get why, because it's so stupid.
But the reasoning is, and I'm not even playing devil's advocate because I can't do that because I just make fun of them. But like their whole thing is it's forced. See, they don't have a problem with people of color in movies or women. They have a problem with it having to be a woman.
Yeah, no, and my thing is
that's what they say.
Most of the time, it is written well. I will tell you this, and this is a thing about Supergirl. Alex being gay was forced.
Was it? Oh, okay.
It seemed like it, writing wise, in my opinion, because the whole first season, there's no mention really of her sexuality.
Well, that's it though, because she didn't know, so she never dated or anything.
But my thing is it just that one seemed to come out of nowhere.
Okay.
And I had issue with that only from a storytelling purpose.
Okay.
Had nothing to do with her being gay, but now that it's been established, I love her character being, gay and what happens with her character throughout the show. But I do understand when things are quote unquote forced in a storytelling, somebody getting pissed about that. But when you start a show out and the character is gay or black or Asian or what have you that people are upset about, or trans, like in Supergirl now,
so they say it's forced, that they're trying to force,
even though it's like right from the beginning.
Right, they're trying to force tolerance. They're trying to force.
I mean, I remember
it's their code word.
I remember when like Will and Grace came out, and people are like, "Oh, they're forcing their views on us."
I mean, that show is stupid, but
my thing is you don't have to watch Will and Grace.
See, again, so I know we're kind of ruined this whole review.
I don't care.
Getting political, but so there is. These are all code words too.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't want things to be forced. They want it to happen naturally. They say we're okay. Just throw in a few here and let them kind of just come in slowly. Good 200, 400 years.
Yeah.
Just, because by that
and
point, I'll be dead and I won't have to deal with it. So my grandchildren they can deal with having to have diversity. I don't want to deal with that.
But that's what Hitler said too. Anyways, no, he didn't. No, he didn't want diversity ever. No, but my.
Spoilers. That's great.
But my thing is if anybody listening to this has a different point of view, feel free to feel free to email me personally at mike@cullenpark.com or at all2real2 at gmail.com. We'll listen to your points of view and we might even talk about them on a future broadcast. I mean, it's just. My thing is, like I've seen things in the past where people got pissed off at like the TV show Criminal Minds, for example, where Thomas Gibson was fired for kicking a cameraman or something and other acts of violence. But people are like, oh, they're just doing that because they don't want a white man being in charge of the Criminal Minds people anymore. And then Patrick Brewster's character came back and she became the head of the thing. And it was like, they were saying that it was all about, because there was a woman producer of the show, and that's why they had to get rid of a white guy.
Right.
No, it had, but it, in their mind, it had nothing to do with the fact that he kicked a crew member. I mean,
okay.
If I walked up to one of my coworkers at work and kicked them, I'm pretty sure I'd be fired.
So about that, okay.
Yeah.
So, and again, we're kind of like veering out. Again, we just saw this like an hour and a half ago. So,
yeah, so we're good.
So we're kind of,
We'll come back to
this whole thing, and because this stuff is important because these people who want to sabotage movies before they even come out, they're real people. They exist and they do shit to try to ruin establishments and movies just because it's not what they like it. So in some way they have to be talked about a little bit because you can't. I don't believe that ignoring a problem makes it go away.
And people are like, "Oh, why should you care? It's just a TV show or just a movie or something like that." But the thing is, TV show and any kind of art, music, painting, whatever, are reflection of our society. And the more we suppress people's right to their artistic expression, the more we suppress our own right to our own opinions, and eventually we become a homogenized society of supremacists.
Right.
And we don't want that.
Right. I don't want that.
No, I don't think anybody wants that except for white supremacists.
Except for those people.
Yeah, but And if they're listening to the show, feel free to email me, but I might email you back nastily.
Right.
Anyways,
Well, that's why they hate that stuff.
Yeah.
Because again, I know you were on your soapbox, but it's just because.
oh no, it's fine. You can have it.
This is not just new stuff. This has been going on for a long time. So, and what it is that it's kind of like what I don't know who said it. Well, lots of people have said it, but really, no one actually consciously thinks that they are evil and is glad that they're evil. Most even evil people think they're actually doing the good thing.
Oh, yeah.
There's very few people that are actually evil and they're like, yeah, I'm evil. I'm cool with that.
Well,
most people actually think that they're the heroes of the story.
Well, it's like when you play a villain in a movie or a TV show or something like that. You don't play it from the point of view as a, I'm an evil guy.
Right.
I'm mwahaha. You're not playing it as a monster.
Right.
You're playing it with a person with a conscience who is doing what they think is right.
Right. So for the most, so what I was getting at with that is that that's what it comes down to is like when they watch these things because they think that they're heroes.
Yeah.
So when they see superhero movies or TV shows or books where they're depicted as the enemies, they get all pissed off because like, wait a minute, I'm the hero here. Why is Supergirl taking out white supremacists? I'm a white supremacist and I'm actually trying to save my race from all of these other evil people.
Yeah.
So she's the enemy. And,
And that'll just bring us back to the Avengers
Right.
when you got Thanos.
Right. And Thanos
Thinks that what he's doing is good for society.
right at first.
But
Now he has become
at the end of this movie, he kind of becomes where he's going to take some kind of gratification in the fact that he
Right.
might be destroying Earth,
not just
but the whole universe.
So we piggyback here. So Thanos originally his plan was to take out half of all life in the universe, right?
Yeah.
And now his plan is, which again, you want to talk about something I was disappointed in. I was kind of disappointed in this arc where it's like, oh, at first I was gonna just kill half the but now I'm gonna kill all of life. Like I'm like, okay, so you're just gonna double down. Like
my thing when I look at it is this Thanos that we experienced in this movie is not the same Thanos that we experienced in the last movie.
what do you mean not the same?
Because he's the past Thanos. He's not. Because the Thanos that came.
Oh, it's just a few years though. It's like 2014.
Yeah, but people change a lot in years.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is that was before he ever. The Thanos that we had there, that was the Thanos before he ever gained any of the Infinity Stones.
Oh, I see.
So basically, his plan was still in formation at the time.
So in 2018, Thanos was like a wizened.
Yeah, I think he was probably
genocidal dictator.
He probably had more of a moral compass in that
Gotcha.
sort of. Yeah.
Okay. In 2014, Thanos is
A little different.
He's drunk on power.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And plus, he finds out what happened in the future
Right.
and knows where it's going and realizes that if it goes the way it's going, he's fucked up. So in a way, he sees that he realizes, because he sees the point of view of the fact that when he destroys half of a society, the people that are left are the ones that are suffering.
Right.
So he's not really taking away the suffering that he thought he was taking away. So he's still actually from a moral standpoint in a way.
Yeah, but how stupid do you have to be to like have to do something like that to then understand like, oh, people are sad that their loved ones were killed. Like, are you the type of idiot that has to touch a hot stove to know it's hot? Like,
well, my thing is I don't know what his background is fully. I mean, I do to a point, but what I'm saying is that I don't think he thought it through. Is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
To the point where he didn't realize that the people that are going to suffer more are not the people that he killed, but it's going to be Clint and it's going to be, Steve and it's going to be Tony and people like that are left. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be Peter and
right.
I just wanted to point out the fact that there's two guys named Peter in this universe.
That's right. There is.
There's Peter Quill and there's Peter Parker.
That's right. Yeah.
But so I can see that point of view too. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, in his mind, everything that he's doing, even when he wants to destroy the whole universe, he doesn't think it's a bad thing because he thinks that he can then snap his fingers and create new people who are going to appreciate the world.
Right, and worship him.
Yeah. Not so. No, I don't think he wants to be worshipped.
Well, he's got to be grateful
to him. I don't think he wants to be worshipped because the thing is, I think he ended up dying eventually.
Oh, okay.
So he's a complicated character. In the comic books, he does it for a lot of different reasons. Anyways, he does it to impress Death and stuff.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah, he's more evil in the comics and more
Yeah.
kind of just sarcastic and
But I
like,
think they made him a very multi-dimensional character, especially in the Infinity War film. He was very
well, and that one, yeah, because at the end of it, when he has like this sort of vision or whatever of Gamora as a child,
yeah,
and she asked him what did it cost, and he said everything.
yeah,
And then like he even like, and like even in like the first 20 minutes of this movie, he pretty much just like accepts the fact that they're gonna kill him, and that he wasn't really doing this to like save his own life necessarily.
no,
Because really think about it, this guy is from a race called the Titans, when pretty much everyone there is like their own mini version of Thanos, kind of.
yeah,
If Thanos wanted to carve out like a little planet for himself just to hang out and do whatever, he could probably do that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really about only his own life.
No,
that
he was
protecting. Like
he was doing it because he actually,
thought
in a weird way, did care about humanity. It's kind of like,
he's a nice Hitler.
yeah,
That's basically what it
Basically.
is. He just wants to kill you, not because he hates you, but just because you're just a burden.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
just
it's-
send him to the
it's like
infirmary and give him
where-
a shot and
yeah. where Hitler wanted to kill
you know.
people because he just wanted one race,
Right.
Whereas this guy,
So now new dictators and wannabe dictators throughout the world, this is your new template.
let's not give him ideas.
When you
man.
plan genocides, just don't talk about hate and don't and just say it's a pragmatic. We don't have enough to go around. Resources.
Yep.
Sorry, and just say sorry as you're doing it, and then.
Well, I mean, it is a scary thing to think about too, though, in the future, because we are running out of resources in this world.
Well, we're not though. It's
Yeah.
we are, but it's also about
Distribution of the
distribution, and
yeah.
also waste.
Yeah.
So there's three factors. Yeah, we are kind of there is limited, but then it's the two other factors as well that it's causing
Yeah.
more as well. So, but yeah, so maybe a good 500 years, you might have a human Thanos who's like, hey, just gonna have to figure something out
half of you.
here. Sorry,
Kill half a year, 2/3 of a year.
but here's more complexity for you. So what if that person who does that to sort of like prove that they're not just trying to save themselves, they offer up themselves as being one of the persons to be killed. That would really make
Fuck things
it
up.
complex.
Yeah.
Like what way he's gonna kill himself too, so it's not like he's
Yeah.
trying to. I don't know. Weird.
Yep. Anyways,
If we kind of
we went off on a tangent there.
Maybe you're gonna edit some of this out. Maybe.
No, I'm gonna edit. I'm gonna keep the whole thing
Oh,
in because
you sure?
I think it should be
Even
good.
my rants about the anti-SJWs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Fine. Whatever. Yeah.
Unless you want me to edit them out.
No, why not? I mean, hey, they never censor themselves.
No,
so why
because
should
my
we
main
censor
thing is
ourselves?
like I'm all for differing point of views. And if you do want to send me messages, send them to mike@cullenpark.com and I will read them on a future episode.
maybe Tony Generous's phone if I can get access to it
Yes.
or whatever. So
Yeah, if you listen to our other podcast, you know who he is.
yes.
Anyways, so my final question for everything. Would you recommend this film to anyone?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. I think. I mean, if you've invested all this time, you know, a good 10 years of movies, I think you kind of owe it to you kind of have to. I mean, how many movies have there been so far in
I think
this
it's like 22 or something.
in this series alone?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you invested at least 10 of these movies,
Yeah.
you kind of owe it to yourself to not let that hang. I mean, you kind of, I don't know.
I mean,
Just see it.
My overall feeling on the movie is I loved it. I think it's a great end game to this. But it does have a lot of fan service in it, but fan service usually gets a bad rap as a name, as a
What's
word.
fan service? What is
Fan service is like where they do things in movies to get those applause or service
it?
a
Like
fan.
jokes or something. Like
Yeah,
that?
or something where they have something that happened in the comic books happen in the movie,
Okay.
and things like that, or or like when a band plays the song you like.
yeah, that's
where-
so
yeah.
terrible.
Rolling Stones are going to play, Satisfaction. All of a sudden, you've been waiting for that for hours,
Right.
and that,
How
that's
dare a
fans.
band play
I know.
songs that the audience wants to listen to?
Well, a lot of
and pay
times they
for
don't
it?
want to.
Well, no, but what I'm saying
Yeah.
is like when people say that's a bad thing. It's
No,
like,
I know.
I'm going to see Metallica, but they better not play.
there
Master
are a
Puppets.
lot. There are ways that things are done in a cheesy fan service
Okay.
sort of way where it's like it's like, hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Did you see where we?
Like it's too much.
Yeah, like yeah. Did you see where we just threw that right in your face? Sort of thing. Like yeah.
I see, but sometimes they get away with that by then acknowledging that they're doing that.
Yeah.
But even that somehow can be overplayed.
Yeah.
As well. So it's.
But I did like this, and I did like all the pop culture references to Hot Tub Time Machine, and Back to the Future, and Terminator, and other
Hot
things.
Tub Time Machine is now in that universe. Then, so that's
it's a movie within that universe.
Movie within. Sorry, that's what I mean. I guess my only thing too is like what you're saying about like stuff like I like that, but I did sometimes think that jokey stuff was getting a little bit too much here.
Oh yeah, at times
I'm
it
like,
was.
come on, guys. Like,
well, it does get a little bit too much at times, and I agree. Sometimes I think you can either overdo it or underdo it.
Yeah.
And this was kind of straddling both at the same time because it was such a long movie.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It was and that's why it was kind of like somewhat like bipolar in that aspect, not bipolar in the medical term, but just like literally like you have like the ultimate like serious like these people are completely like defeated and beaten down. And they live like in a world now where it's like there's just so much open space and everything's empty. And then like all of a sudden you've got Thor with a beer gut. And it's like they go back and forth between like just like utter depression to like here's another joke. And it did feel kind of like sometimes like I was watching two different movies.
I'm not really sure. I mean, Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely wrote the screenplay. There's two people writing the screenplay, so who knows?
Right.
It could be like kind of a conflict of points of view too, but I'm sure that they all agreed on. And I mean, by the way, I didn't mention before, I mean, Joe and Anthony Russo directed this movie as they did Infinity War. They are known primarily before they got into the Marvel universe for doing TV shows like Community and Arrested Development. This movie was awesome. It had Ken Jeong and Yvette Nicole Brown from Community, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Matt's as well. And it was cool to see them doing cameos in this movie.
Well, it's funny too because about that. So you got the Russo connection as well, right?
Yeah, and one of the Russo brothers also was in the movie too.
Right. So you got that connection, but there's also another connection because in Community, the show, in the series finale, Jeff is in the study room talking to Annie, and he's saying like how he wishes like he was like their age and stuff like that because he's like older than the rest of them, and like he says like he wished he could have like opinions on those lame ass Marvel movies.
That's
so you have
funny.
two actors from the TV show that are in the movie, and then he's mentioning those movies within the show itself. So it's kind of like a funny. It's very Abed type of like because Abed's all about like merging pop culture with his own life type of thing or whatever. Like
yeah, I mean it's funny how Jeff does that too, and it's funny too now because even though it's not Marvel. But Joel McHale, who plays Jeff, is actually going to be in the DC Universe TV series Stargirl. So he's going to be in a superhero show soon.
who is?
Joel McHale.
Are you kidding? That's right, Stargirl.
Yeah, which is a DC.
I saw a preview for that recently, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be on the DC Universe app.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's going to be in it. So
that's hilarious. That's not.
I mean,
Marvel,
I know it's
though.
not Marvel, but it's still funny that
It is funny
that he. Yeah, but anyways, I like all the things. And back to, I mean, they're also the Infinity War thing. I know came out. This was the last big movie, but it was the Bluth staircase from Arrested Development was in the background. No, not in Infinity War. Actually, in Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
Yeah, it was in that, and so that makes this all part of that same universe, in my opinion. Which then in turn makes it part of the Tommy Westphall universe, which we'll be talking about in a future episode.
Yeah.
So stay tuned for that, and you'll find more out about that. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Anyways, so I would highly recommend this movie though to anyone that has seen the other movies, because you kind of have to have seen the other movies for this to kind of make sense too, in a way.
You wouldn't get anything if
Yeah.
you didn't see.
That's one of the major problems with this, but
Well, that's the thing. It's a 10-year project.
Yeah.
I mean, it's meant to take work, not work. Watching a
Yeah.
movie is not work, but I mean, whatever. It takes
it's like a good series finale of a TV series.
investment.
Yeah.
You need you. Yeah, I don't think you would understand anything from this movie if you haven't seen any of those movies.
Yeah, I mean, you might a little bit, just kind of what they give you and the kind of
Well, what they tell you
background, but it's still
in the movie itself, like, oh, we know this guy tried to kill people, stuff like that. But
yeah. But anyways,
I would see it. I would tell someone to see it.
I want to go see it again sometime, probably.
There's less stupid people. Sorry.
Yeah, when the theater is less crowded. But
you got everyone in their dumb theories that don't make any sense.
And then people that don't know the difference between Falcon and they call him Hawk.
That's right. It's like, you're that Hawk guy. Like, Hawkeye? No, the Hawk guy. Okay, that's very confusing because there's a guy named Hawkeye, and you're saying that Hawk guy. Like,
yeah, you mean Falcon?
Come on.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's character, his name is Falcon. Anyways,
it just reminds me when we saw, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
I sorry, but I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
I loved it so much when, I don't think you were at that point, but they showed the Shazam preview.
Yeah.
And those two guys that were sitting behind us saying stupid crap the whole time.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, and again, he said this like in a serious tone, like he wasn't joking, like being sarcastic. He's like, yeah, I heard that Shazam, like he's kind of like Deadpool. I'm like, oh my god, what? Like I am not a comic book guru by any stretch of imagination, but when you say something like Shazam was like Deadpool, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
they're both comedies, maybe, but still, it's like.
But one is like a violent, gruesome comedy where people get their entire bodies cut in half,
and one is literally about a kid who turns into a superhero,
and it's DC, which again, I guess that's if you don't.
DC
know.
is kind of dark too, but still,
it is. But that movie looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, it is.
I want to see that movie. We should do that sometime. We should review that sometime.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
If we have time, we will. Anyways, any other thoughts or anything before we go here, Matt?
No, just stay classy.
Yes. Stay classy, America.
Stay classy and be your own version of a superhero.
That's another good question right before we're done here, though.
Okay.
If you could have any superpower, Matt, what would it be?
I actually thought about this for a while before you just asked me that, and I actually had a really cool. Okay, well, tell me this: what are the limits here? What constitutes a superpower?
Any superpower you want. You can make up one if you want to. Even
I would say that I would like to manipulate time. That would be my superpower.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh wow.
I was going to talk about having the ability to time travel.
Wow.
Or manipulate time. Yeah. Anyways, that's just because I like time travel. I think it'd be cool. But, like they said, you can't use it to gamble or you can't use it
to... No. Can't do that stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all for today. And, go off there and just keep fighting them battles, people. I don't know what that was bad, but bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.